Have you ever felt like the more you give to others, the emptier you feel inside? Maybe you're always showing up, always saying yes, always trying to prove your love, but somehow it never feels enough. Today, we're going to talk about why constantly giving isn't the same as love and how to heal this pattern spiritually so you can love yourself and others in a healthier way. Hey, Divine, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you guys are here. We're going to be talking about overgiving. I created this message because so many of us were taught that love means to self sacrifice without limits. I grew up that way. I was tricked and manipulated into that kind of energy earlier on. It's been really hard to heal from. But true spiritual love is never about abandoning yourself. It's about connection, compassion, and balance. If you've been overgiving, people pleasing, or feeling drained from always being there for everyone, this is the conversation for you. Remember, all readings here are general. Take what lights you up and toss the rest over your shoulder for the universe to recycle. These readings are also timeless. So if you're watching this and it's a perfect moment for these messages to find you. And if my messages bring you a smile or any kind of clarity, guys, please tap that like button so many amazing souls can join us on our journey. Welcome back, Divine. I'm so glad that you guys are here today. We're going to be talking about overgiving. When I first started shuffling the deck, it came out with the Six of Pentacles, and the Devil on the bottom of the deck, and that in itself told me it's about overgiving. And so I'm just like, okay, let's get started. I had already done a pre-shuffle on the deck, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and get that going here. We're going to cut and get started. But before we get started, we're going to do a message, our prayer. And so watch your ears. Here comes the bell. I give thanks to the Most High Divine Spirit for being here and for surrounding us with healing energy and for guiding today's messages. By the grace of the Most High and the Holy Spirit, this space is filled with love, peace, light, and all energies that do not serve our highest good are transmuted into love, healing, and renewing energy. Now let's step into this reading together. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just get a cut and go ahead and get a lead card out. I hope everyone is doing well today. We're going to be talking about overgiving because we've been tricked, we've been bamboozled, we've been taught to give until we can't take it anymore. And so, therefore, I meditated on this, this the spread here, and I thought about it a lot and I prayed about it. So I came up with some questions for a guided reading. As you know, I don't do the whole, snatch the energy out the air kind of readings. We may go there, but I like a little guidance, especially on a journey. It's better to have a GPS from the most divine, the most high, than just wandering out here. This is what we've already been doing. So this tarot spread is called Healing the Overgiven Heart. It's a 5-card spread. It's not going to be too much, but we want to ask Spirit, tell us in a reflective state, why do we overgive? Why are we overgiving at this point? Collective, please let us know what's causing the overgiving. And I had 2 to come out, and as you guys know, I do not like to. Okay, so we got 1. All right, and so we have a 2 of Cups. All right, and so the 2 of Cups is just about partnerships and harmony and exchanging energies. Perhaps in a relationship, maybe we tend to overgive or lose sight of ourselves. So as a lead card, we can see how this might, um, you know, and also you may just give because of your true compassion and generosity. You know, I mean, you can have a naturally empathetic heart like myself, and this is a gift. But you already know we're talking about balance, so it's going to need direction. All right. And you might have a strong desire to help heal others and feel connected. And that is totally me. So I can see why I got there. You know what I mean? So I would just say, set some holy boundaries. Okay. It's all about spiritual practices to break the cycle. You got to pray before saying yes. Let people know you're going to have to pray on it. Don't let anybody rush you into overgiving. Imagine a loving light protecting your heart as you choose, and then make your choice, and then express what that choice may be. Okay. Now, we want to, the next card, overgiving often comes from fear and not true compassion. Sometimes we say yes because we're afraid to lose the approval of love. That's not generosity, that's just fear wearing a disguise. It's true compassion flows from peace, not from anxiety. All right, so the second card is about the heart lesson. What does the heart needs to learn about real love? So we're going to ask spirit, and let me move this up a little bit, but what does the heart needs to learn? I had three. Here we are. A Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So we're looking at the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And so basically, when you have a Knight in reverse, it's like dull, stagnated affairs, things of that nature. Um, you know, you you may need to learn some unlearn some toxic beliefs about things like self-love is selfish. I remember when I was growing up, every time I worked hard for something, I had a manipulator in my family trying to convince me that, not giving to them what I had earned was being selfish. Yeah. There was people who were older than me too. Yeah, just being manipulative. You may even still be holding on to some guilt or shame that keeps you in servitude, especially if it came from a parent or somebody that was really close to you in a relationship. They'll have you thinking that they sacrificed for you just by birthing you, or just by being a relative of yours, or just by caring about you. But that's our birthright. If we give it, it's ours to receive. You know, so um, you know, it's really difficult. Like, I really needed to learn about this, because in cases of overgiving, the heart can be resisting receiving like unconditional love. We've been taught so many times that in order for us to be loved, we have to do something or give some part of ourselves or energy, our things that we've manifested, our any, just proving our loyalty to people who are just selfish and manipulative when real love has no conditions, you know. So card two is inviting us to heal that fear of rejection and connect with the inner child. Affirm, I am loved even when I rest. I don't have to do anything. I am loved. It doesn't, don't worry about how, by who. You are loved. And that's the truth. Ancestors said that is the truth. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, spirit guides. Okay. Now, card three, how to set boundary wisdom, how to set loving, healthy limits. Being a people pleaser it'll get us in trouble all the time. And it silences our authentic self, So when we're only valuable if we help people, we lose touch with who we really are. We got people bending us into a pretzel, having us doing things we don't want to do. God didn't design us to perform for love. God loves us. We're already loved. That's why we're here. And anybody who try to convince you you have to perform for love, those ain't your people. All right. So we're going to be asking spirit. The next card out is asking spirit, how can we set healthy limits? Spirit, please. How can we set some healthy limits in this world where we got these manipulators trying to convince us that we have to perform? And spirit is saying, get to the Four of Pentacles. Okay. So the Four of Pentacles is just, it's going to be putting security on you, protecting your resources, saving yourself. Don't give. You got to understand that you're doing this for your bloodline, your legacy, Your generosity, what you're trying to put out there is you have to be generous to yourself first. You have to be generous to yourself first. You can set boundaries with kindness and still be loving. And saying no is an act of self respect and spiritual maturity. You don't have to say yes to everything. And if somebody come to you trying to pull out a verse or something that's trying to manipulate you, remember the most high wants you to give from overflow and nothing else. Pressed down, runneth over, shaken together. Not where you have to just feel like you've been manipulated or, it's dependent on somebody's going to care about you or not. All right. And another thing, too, you got to let yourself be helped, loved, and supported. This is something that I still have to learn to do to this day. I'm so terrified of asking people for any help because people have taken those opportunities to embarrass me. The few times that I've had to go in the trenches to just really reach out to people to see if they could financially help me in dark moments or whatever, it's like they took that opportunity to make me feel small. And when I didn't feel small, they took the opportunity to expose me to other people to say, oh, she's not that great. She's not always standing on top of it. She's not all what she thinks she is. I never said I was. And imagine being treated away, you know, because of that, But you got to let yourself know that you have to put security around yourself and you're supported. And this keeps the love flowing both ways. Now, you got to know that enabling other people it isn't empowering them. Sometimes our constant rescuing keeps people from growing. And true love empowers, it doesn't create dependency. So I had this issue with, my children growing up. And so, and especially with my youngest child, thinking that I was being supportive when I was actually empowering people not to even step into their own, responsible energy. So the next card is about receiving energy and how to open ourselves up to love and support, not where we just always giving out. If we're always giving out, we're not receiving. So we need to get more into a receiving mode. And that's where I'm at with it now. And let me tell you, I've been sitting in receiving mode for a moment, and I can count on one hand how many people have offered me anything. But that's neither here nor there because that's not what it's about. Because I'm giving all the love back to myself. So we're gonna ask, we're gonna ask Spirit how to open up to ourselves for more love and support. And Spirit says, so we got an Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so notice, look at all these pentacles out here, and we're talking about giving. Spirit is not, it's not gonna be everything. There's no such thing as coincidence. You know what I mean? And we're talking about an Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So we just talking about failing one's own ideas or own ambition. You know, so if and the card is about enabling. So you got to open up to your love and support. So you can't be giving out your pentacles, your coins. You can't be giving out your manifestations. You know, because as you're giving out, you're not going to be in receiving. And don't reject pride. Don't reject help because of your pride or fear of burdening others. Mine is pride because I've been humiliated whenever I try to reach out for help. I have someone in my family, again, it doesn't even matter. It could be any person where they just have been so envious that they're just waiting for me to report when I don't have a good time going on. And so it's very isolating. However, past betrayals was making it hard for me to trust receiving. But the Lord is helping me to get out of that energy, knowing that in through this type of healing journey, to know that I'm supported and I'm loved. And that I'm going to, the more I love on myself, the more it's going to be manifested for us to more you love on yourself as well. the more it's going to be manifested that people are going to come into your energy that are on the same frequency with you, and they're going to understand what giving means, and that it's actually an opportunity to be able to give, especially when you're able to give from what? Overflow. Okay. So where that's where healing gets you, you know. So I would say what I usually do, I take some time for solitude. I get all them other energies away from me. I sit in prayer in nature and I refill myself on spirit. I really do. And a lot of times I sit there just, praying, being in gratitude, and just, thinking about how to be creative and how to be innovative. I don't focus on any negative energies and I don't let people to pull me into it. And so, and that's a good thing because even Jesus rested. Jesus himself stepped away to pray and renew. And Jesus did. We need to do it. Jesus didn't heal every person and every time, all the time. And a lot of times family will try to convince you that you got to be the Jesus in the family because you are the one who appears to have an abundance. They don't know what you've gone through. They don't have any respect for it either. They just want to receive and receive and receive and take, but they don't have any respect for what you had to go through, all the nights that you've had to sit there with your brain wrecking and insomnia, and going through a dark night of the souls or going through many tower moments until you got it right. And then when you finally reap the benefit, here they all come. All right. But for future integration, we need to know that what healed and balanced love will look like for us going forward. So we won't fall back into that. So we're going to ask Spirit, what does healed love look like for us once we get over this overgiving? Spirit. And Spirit says it's going to look like, oh, the hangman in reverse. I was just talking about that. Now, okay, usually when the hangman here is actually in reverse. So it's upside down. I don't know if you can tell. All right. So what we're going to do when it's um, in reverse, we're actually going to be stalling. We might have a fear of sacrificing or refusing a change of view on something. Okay. So we need to be able to integrate. And what this card is telling us is that now is the time. You can't change your view because we already know what overgiving does. It does not bring the energy that we are looking for to grow us forward. So this is a warning. You may relapse into like self sacrifice if you don't heal. You know what I mean? So take some time. Perhaps you should go into the hangman and not be in a reverse because you need to take some time. Okay. And the future calls for patience. So growth is ongoing. Don't think just because you got it one day and you implemented it one day after you've been overgiven for years, like myself, that you're just gonna fall lockstep into that new thing. Practice and repetition is what is needed. Okay. And stay mindful of guilt and old patterns and over identifying with the helper. Don't let nobody put you into that energy. I was sitting here dog tired working one day, and someone in my family who I truly love called me and was talking about me actually moving them from one state to another, as if moving trucks and moving companies don't exist. Here's the thing though, I moved from the north all the way down to the end of the map. And let me tell you, there was not one person in my family who offered to bring me down here. I had to figure it out on my own. So guess what I left her to do? Figure it out on her own. But I love you. Here, we're going to get some oracle messages from the Cosmic Energy Oracle cards. I was drawn to these cards for this, okay? So let's just see what Spirit has for us for overgiving. We're going to ask Spirit any messages you can get a collective and myself that will assist us going forward in overgiving. We are appreciative and full gratitude of any messages that we can receive that will be assisting us from the Divine Most High. Prosperity comes from hard work and love for life. Okay. I didn't see overgiving in that prosperity. Okay. Usually, when we're prosperous or people deem that we're prosperous in comparison to their situation, That's how I say don't fall into that energy, because it's the comparison of their situation that led them to thinking that we are more prosperous. However, prosperity comes from hard work of your being on your path and giving your energy to yourself. That's what I believe. Thank you, Spirit, for that message. Let's see if we can get another one out of here, Spirit. And we got transformation. Transformation is the soul's evolution. Okay. You see that butterfly up there reaching up, reaching for the high. See the sun out in the back there. Everything's in harvest. Right now, I was thinking it's harvest season. It's harvest season. Whatever you reap, it's harvest season. A lot of people are not getting anything. A lot of overgivers are getting their things back. But guess what? You're only getting them back if you gave them in the right spirit. So let's ask Spirit for another Oracle card, because here at Oracle Rose Healing Tarot, we participate in our own rescue and we also listen to divine guidance. And so we are always most grateful to the divine, the ancestors, and spirit guides for any messages that we can get out of our tarot decks or our Oracle card decks. Okay. So let's just see what we can get here. I've been pulling and pulling, and Spirit is being particular about this message. So let's just see what we're gonna get. I'm excited. Okay. Trust your intuition. The universe guides you. That was worth the shuffle, because we can't make this up. You know, you got to trust your intuition. Your intuition, you divinely connected too. You just got to tap in. You just got to tap in. You got to, just when it comes to giving, stop thinking if I stop giving, I'm selfish. The truth is, loving yourself lets you love others better. You can shift from thinking they'll leave me if I don't help. Trust. The truth is, real love doesn't require constant sacrifice, you know? And then, they'll get you with that one at church. My value is in serving. No, your worth is divine. It's divine and unearned. It's just divine. It's your birthright. Okay. So, collective, the world doesn't need you to burn out to prove your love. The divine created you to live whole, not hollow. And when you heal this urge to overgive, you step into true love, a love that honors both you and others. Okay. Now, if this spoke to your heart, remember, you're worthy of love just as you are. I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Have you struggled with overgiving? Because I know I have. I'm taking it all back. It feels good. I feel the abundance. How are you learning to love yourself? If this helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm so happy that you guys are watching this message here. I'm doing it for myself, but I'm also doing it for others too. Anything I do for myself, I feel like it's a blessing and I love to share. So thank you for being here with me. And until next time, keep walking in your light.